Hello, I'm BMillzebub, and welcome to my channel. Today's my birthday. You can leave your happy birthdays in the comments section below. That'll be greatly appreciated. Feed my ego. But today, I'm going to talk about some funny stories from the Air Force, because I'm not feeling like doing anything really serious for today's video. I think the reasoning should be fairly obvious. Okay, so for a while I've been wanting to make a video talking about some funny stories from when I was in the Air Force, but I've never seemed to get around to it until now, so that's what I'm going to do, starting with the time I went to the Netherlands. So some friends of mine decided they wanted to go to the Netherlands. There was this club they wanted to go to, and they bumped into me on their way to the car in the parking lot behind the dorms, and we're like, "Hey, Miller, do you want to come with us?" I was like, "Sure, why the hell not?" I'm not gonna pass up travel. I don't have work the next day. I actually don't have work the next 2 days, which was a really good thing because, well, you'll find out soon enough why it's a good thing. But I get my shit, get in the car, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with laws about drinking in a car over in Germany. They may have changed since then, but if you're a passenger, you're allowed to drink in a vehicle. The driver can't for obvious reasons, and that's good. But we're all getting loaded in the car, and except for the driver, of course. And one of my friends decides that he has to pee, and instead of peeing in one of the empties, he has to do it the hard way. He decides to open the door, and I'm not sure how he managed to pull this off, but he managed to open the door, hold it open, and start, going out the open door. But he started kind of wobbling around a little bit, and me being the other guy in the back seat of the car, because he starts wobbling around, I have to grab him by the belt and, just sort of try my best to keep him from falling out of the car and dying, especially since we're on a, entrance ramp and it's kind of looping. That was an experience. But moving forward a couple hours or so, we get to the hotel where we're going to be crashing for the night, because we're all going to be too ripped out of our heads to drive home that night. So, and get checked in, get changed into whatever we're wearing at the club, and we head that way. Now, I'm gonna say right off that you should not drink to excess. It's a bad thing. After that night, I'm probably really lucky I didn't have alcohol poisoning, because while I was drinking beer, my friends were also feeding me shots, and to this day, because of that, I can't drink whiskey. I can't even smell whiskey, and I refuse to go anywhere near Hypnotic as well, because those are the two different shots they were feeding me all night. But we get to this club, there's more than a dozen dance floors, all playing different music with different themes. But the club scene isn't really my thing, so I sort of fuck off and go to the bar, which is way more my scene. Still a little too loud for my taste, because, dozen plus dance floors surrounding us. But the last thing I remember is flirting with this French woman who didn't speak a word of English, and I don't speak a word of French, except for omelette du fromage, which I learned from a Dexter's Lab episode. And suddenly, like, my memory just goes completely blank. It's all gone. I remember maybe flashes of that night, but for the most part, it's like a black screen. There's nothing there. But yeah, so we head back to base, and we're like 5 miles away from Ramstein. We're this close to home, and we run out of gas on the Autobahn, which is technically illegal. But I call a buddy of mine, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, can you bring us some? We ran out of gas on the Autobahn. Can you help us out here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So he comes out, and he doesn't have any gas. He thought I just wanted him to pick me up and leave them stranded. It's like, no, dude, no, I'm not about to do that. So we give him a little bit of money, um, and we send him back to base, and he has to buy a gas can, and he puts a couple gallons in it of gas in it, and comes back. And man, that was a rough day. It was hot, and we were all still really dehydrated. We just wanted to die. So by the time I'd gotten back to my dorm, I drank as much water as I could, and I passed back out. Yeah, a lot of my Germany or my Air Force stories in general are going to involve drinking. It's another good one. Oktoberfest. I went to Oktoberfest while I was in Germany, and I mean the real thing in Munich. This was another kind of by the seat of our pants thing. And a buddy of mine contacts me and another friend of ours, a couple other friends of ours, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go with me to Oktoberfest? I've got nothing better to do. I've got the weekend off." We all had the weekend off, coincidentally. And we just went. We should have been stuck sleeping in the car, because Oktoberfest is something that's booked solid from like the year before, and yeah, no, but we were looking around. We came across a hostel that had an empty room. I'm guessing whoever it was canceled or something, because there's no way it was just empty. And we took it, and we decided that I mean, it was only like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. That for us the night was still young, but the Oktoberfest festivities were kind of winding down for the night, and pick back up in the morning. So I mentioned seeing a strip club coming into town, because don't hate me, I was like 22 at the time, but we go there, we get in a taxi, and we go there, and we get up there, and there are a couple of big dude, a couple of big bouncers standing in front of the door, and they just look at us, and they're like, "Are you Americans?" And we're just kind of like, "Yeah." And what these two guys didn't realize is that two of us kind of spoke a little bit of German. And what he said basically translates to, talking to the cabbie, "We want you to stop bringing these English speakers here." Apparently they're not fond of Americans. So we head back to this hostel, no harm, no foul. We're just going to have a boring night. We actually turned in pretty early. Our jobs in the Air Force had us up usually. Mine had me up around 4 in the morning at that time, and the others were not faring much better. So We wake up the next morning and we walk to, I mean, seriously, walking distance to Oktoberfest. How, how do you get better than that? But we walk there, and if I can find the picture of this somewhere, I'll put it up, but I make no promises. But these two women just came up to me. It might have been the weird beer keg hat I was wearing that said Oktoberfest on it, and they just wanted a picture with an idiot crazy enough to wear that. But either way, they came up to me. Two gorgeous women. Hey, can we get a picture? Sure. But yeah, after that, we only stuck around for a couple of beers, because I mean, we had like a 2.5, 3 hour drive, something like that, to get back to base. And, you know, we each had work the following day, so we didn't want to get too drunk anyway. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the end of that story. But I was at Oktoberfest in Munich. How many of my audience members can say that they've been to Oktoberfest in Munich? Probably not a lot of you. Be jealous of me. And finally, I'm gonna end with another cautionary tale where alcohol is concerned. I'm gonna talk about the new guy to base that puked all over my friend's bathroom. So there's a group of new airmen that came in, and they came across my buddy, who also happened to be my next door neighbor in the dorms. And he's like, "Hey, let's welcome you to Germany." We were all cops. So we figured we'll have a couple of drinks. Because I mean, they might have only been like 18 or 19, but over in Germany, the law allows you to drink from 18 years old. And Ramstein, the base I was on, decided to follow that law instead of the usual 21 for Americans to drink, which was awesome. But, so we're in the day room, which is basically this kind of lounge space, because sometimes you just want to get the fuck out of your room, and we're there, we're drinking, we're playing card games and, other shit like that. And one of the new people asked if he can use one of our bathrooms, and my neighbor was like, "Yeah, sure, mine's," his door was just right outside of the day room. So he's like, "Yeah, the door's open, just go on in and go to the bathroom." Well, I mean, this about 10 minutes passes, and this dude still hasn't showed up. So we figure he's taking the world's longest piss, he's shitting, or he's puking. We're not sure which, but we didn't figure we'd see what we did. So we get into my buddy's bathroom. This dude's gone, by the way. He just fucking ghosted. And there's vomit all over my friend's bathroom. I mean, like, let me draw you a diagram of what these bathrooms looked like. And actually, I'm gonna use a Sharpie. That'll work way better so you can see it. But squarish, rectangular bathroom, shower right there, toilet, sink, and where the dude had to be to throw up into the toilet. So this dude, I'm actually going to need this still, somehow got vomit on the side of the shower, behind the toilet, behind the sink, and most impressively, behind where he would have been puking into the toilet. Can't figure out to this day how he managed to pull that off, but he did it. We were all as disgusted as we were impressed, probably a little more disgusted, honestly. And I decided to be a good friend and help him clean it up, but, the smell's pretty overwhelming. So I go next door. I'm literally, we just day room, my friend's dorm, my dorm, just all in a nice little row. And, I grab my M50 gas mask and a pair of disposable gloves and a roll of paper towels. And I'm helping him clean up, and one of these new people was a woman, which another friend of mine took a shining to, if you get what I mean. A little bit of that going on. And they'd evidently finished and heard all the commotion going on outside. So they came out, and she's the first one out, and she's greeted by this image of me and I think another one of us wearing an M50 gas mask, wearing gloves, and she's like, "What the hell is happening here?" And through the mask, I try to explain it, but I mean, the masks really kind of muffle your voice. It made everything I said unintelligible. So the other one of us that wasn't wearing a mask explained the situation, and she's like, "Y'all are pussies," and she just goes in and cleans it up. Like, well, that's one way to make me feel inferior. Yeah, that made me feel kind of bad. Like, damn, I needed a gas mask to clean this, and she just goes in and fucking, yeah. So learn your lesson, kids. Don't drink to excess. It's just all bad. It won't end well. Your next morning and potentially next couple of days are going to be painful. Just have a few drinks, be mellow. But yeah, don't try to give yourself alcohol poisoning. But that'll do it for this one. If you thought these shenanigans were entertaining, please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. Normally, I plug my Patreon and Amazon wishlist, but this time I'm going to plug the hashtag Atheist Amazon Fund, which was started by David Worley to help with the massive fire happening in the Amazon rainforest. So definitely give to that, or if you can't donate to the fund, share it around on social media. Every donate helps. I mean, it's not like we breathe the air the Amazon produces or anything. We do. We totally breathe that air. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings, and join my Discord for a chance to talk to yours truly. Take it easy, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.